Okay, well, it is 2 now, so I think we can start this thing. I know some people are still going to be trickling in, but why wait? Let's go for it. So welcome everybody to the 3rd installment of the Anti-natalist Film Festival info session. Thank you so much for all of you for being here today with me to learn about the festival. This is a great turnout. A lot of I was going to say new faces, but new screen names. I really do appreciate you all coming, and many of you for the first time. If you've been to one of these in the past, some of it is going to be very much the same, but there's been all kinds of new stuff added. We have a special guest today for the festival, so you don't want to miss that. And yeah, I'm just super excited to go through everything and show everybody everything that's been added. So again, if you've been here before, it's some of the same stuff, but there's new stuff all throughout, so it will sort of be like seeing it for the first time, kind of, sort of, not really. Okay, so let's move our wonderful film festival poster out of the way, designed by our very own Anugrah. And this is, very excited to say, is our Film Freeway page. So we're going to go through the Film Freeway page in detail and learn all about the festival. Before we do that, I want to tell each of you about exactly sort of what Film Freeway is. So Film Freeway is sort of I'm not sponsored by Film Freeway in any way, shape, or form, but Film Freeway is an industry standard for submitting your films to film festivals of all kinds. And it's something that I've used a great deal. It's a really easy system to work, and it really is one of the best out there. I think it probably sincerely is the best. It is free. There are paid, subscription options and all that crap. You are in absolutely no way to spend a single cent on anything involved in the Anti-natalist Film Festival. Submissions to the Anti-natalist Film Festival are free, and it is free to make an account on Film Freeway. So let's just give an example. Let's say you had a horror film. You could look in horror on Film Freeway and find listings to a truly outrageous number of different types of film festivals. Now, all of the festivals that you see listings to right now, and as you further, go through and explore Film Freeway, will all be festivals that have the distinction of having like an actual physical venue attached to them. That's not the case with the Anti-natalist Film Festival this year. This is the first year of the festival where we're a fledgling project, and especially given the situation with coronavirus, having an in-person event with at a real venue, just not possible this time around. I'm very much hoping that next year, when the festival's a little bit more established and hopefully the world is a little bit back to normal, that we actually can have an in-person festival. This year, that won't be the case. Now, the clincher is that online screening events, which is basically what the Anti-natalist Film Festival is this year, are not actually searchable on the Film Freeway system. So if we were to put in Anti-natalist into the search result, nothing is going to show up. But even though it is better never to have been, it does indeed exist, and here it is. So the reason I'm telling you this specifically is because it is of utmost importance, if you want to help the film festival in any way, shape, or form, to share this page. Please share the link to the Anti-natalist Film Festival anywhere you possibly can, anywhere you think people might be interested in it, because it really is the only way that it's going to get seen. So it's very important that be shared. And I'm putting all the links for today in the chat for those that haven't seen it yet. So that's just a little bit about what Film Freeway is. This is my preferred. Oh, great. Oh, fantastic. So who's doing that? I don't know. All right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to stop sharing, and then we're going to reshare. And
Can
then
you turn off annotations?
PP stains are going to go away. I can turn off annotations. How do I do that? Disable attendee annotations. Yeah, okay. And then we're going to stop sharing, and then we're going to reshare. Okay, cool. Sorry about that, everybody. It happens. This is what people do on the internet. Okay, so we now know what Film Freeway is, a little bit about the system. And now let's take a look at the actual film festival page. So once again, share, share, share. Okay, the Anti-Natalist Film Festival is a historic, one-of-a-kind event founded by Anti-Natalism International, ANI. That's us. And organization dedicated to the advancement of the philosophy of anti-natalism. Anti-Natalism International, ANI, is the world's first explicitly anti-procreative international organization, besides the Church of Euthanasia, founded in the summer of 2020 by a committed group of 6 anti-natalist thinkers. ANI was established to help facilitate the entrance of anti-natalist philosophy into the mainstream consciousness of society. Art, particularly video making, has been an important tool for anti-natalist activism, and we felt it was high time to showcase some of the talents of our community, as well as get others involved who might come from a different mindset, but perhaps find the subject matter artistically inspiring and want to respond creatively. Wikipedia defines anti-natalism, or anti-natalism, as a philosophical position and social movement that assigns a negative value to birth. Who's that? Who's that? Who is making noise? Everybody, please close your mics or you will be dismissed. Abhick. This is your warning. You get one. Wikipedia defines anti-natalism, or anti-natalism, as a philosophical position and social movement that assigns a negative value to birth. It's an idea that's been with humanity since very early recorded history, but is only really now since 2006, the 2006 publication of philosopher David Benatar's book, Better Never to Have Been, The Harm of Coming into Existence, that anti-procreative people have started to collect and truly communicate about this idea with others. Anti-Natalism International is the natural evolution of this trend. Due to circumstances regarding the COVID-19 pandemic, 2021's Antinatalist Film Festival will be entirely hosted online on the Antinatalism International website. We hope, however, to be able to host future years of the festival as an in-person event. So yes, working on that, more news as soon as I can. We are so excited to see your anti-natalism inspired films, and that we are. The film festival logo was designed by Life Sucks, so please follow this link below and subscribe the living hell out of Life Sucks, because he is amazing. Yes. So now we're going to talk a little bit about prizes. So we have not talked about prizes in previous editions of the info session. So I'm proud to announce that there are essentially sort of 4 prizes now. I can count. There will basically be a first, second, and third prize for the top films in the festival. And then there is also now a second category, which, if you were at the previous film festival info sessions, you learned a little bit about, but we'll talk more about it in more detail today. So the first prize is going to be a hand-sculpted trophy by festival organizer Amanda Olfan-Suknick. That's me. I don't have it here to show you yet, so I can't actually display it for you, but I'm working on it, and I'm liking the way it's coming out, and I think that's going to be a special thing to win. So look forward for more pictures of that, which I will be posting as soon as possible. The second prize is one of 2. So the second and third prize is basically the same. It's basically a goodie bag of assorted anti-natalism swag and stuff. I will show you a couple of examples of what will be included, but this is being added to. So you will receive the second and third winner will receive a copy of Last Call for Heroes, a novella by Connor Garcia. Connor was actually the winner of last year's Why Are You an Anti-Natalist contest, which, by the way, the 8th edition, I think, will be premiering in June. So look forward to that. More opportunities to win stuff. So this is a great book. Each the second and third winner will receive a copy of that. The second and third winner will also each receive a copy of Miguel Steiner's book, a very rare antinatalist book, I have to say. La felicidad y los hijos, la evolución del permaneciente ético y la dimensión demográfica de los problemas. I think I said that right. I've been practicing. Mr. Steiner is great. I did an interview with him on the Exploring Antinatalism podcast, so go check that out. He graciously donated these books to future projects. There will also be a copy available for the Why Are You an Antinatalist contest this year. This was also, these copies of Last Call for Heroes were also donated by Connor. Just want to say that. One winner, I'll get a second copy, will receive a copy of Depressive Realism, one of the albums by Glistening, but from Extinctionist Records. And then at least, well, again, more coming. I have one copy of it right here. But the winners will also receive a copy of Manifestation de l'Antinatalisme, an album by the artist Holotrope. I did do an interview with Holotrope on the Exploring Antinatalism podcast. It's one of our special exclusive written only episodes due to language barrier. So that's a start, at least. Each winner will also receive an Exploring Antinatalism podcast t-shirt in the size of their choosing. They will also receive an Antinatalism International t-shirt of the size of their choosing once they win, and more stuff to be added, and so on and so on. The next category is called Inventors Challenge, which now has a cash prize attached to it of $500. That may actually be added to. We shall see. In general, the podcast has just had this one gigantic category where anybody can just submit everything. And we'll talk about what can be submitted in just a little while. But in general, it's just one big category. But Inventors, who's been at these info sessions, has suggested a desire to fund one lucky antinatalist video or filmmaker to produce a 10 to 2 minute video in the style of a commercial or something of that type that specifically attempts to convince the audience of antinatalism or one of its surrounding subjects. If you have questions about this category, you're thinking of submitting something to this category, then please email me at info@antinatalisminternational.com. But once again, this category has a cash prize attached to it of $500. So this was actually just added today, even though it's been discussed for a while. Finally got around to adding it. But yes, we can talk more about that later on. And before I go on, I did want to say at the end of this, there will be time to have a Q&A, to ask questions, and to talk about your film and video ideas. So looking forward to that. Now let's talk about some rules. The first edition of the Antinatalist Film Festival will take place online between October 1st and October 31st, 2021 on the Anti-Natalism International website. Film submissions rules. All films must comply with the following conditions to be submitted. All film/video submissions must deal with the subject of anti-procreation in some way. I'm very forgiving. My definition of what an anti-procreative thing is very, very broad. So, if you're not sure, again, please feel free to email me anytime at info@antinatalisminternational.com. You can also email me at antinatalnews@gmail.com. It's totally cool. Like, I'd rather you submit. The worst thing that we can say is, it's free to submit. So, the worst thing that can happen is we say no. But if you have something that's even, circling around this topic at all, submit it. And, it very well might get in. So it's definitely worth taking a chance. Again, it's free. You may submit features, documentaries, animated pieces, music videos, artistic videos of all kinds, as well as film debate videos, etc. If you have any questions about something you would like to submit, please contact us anytime. Again, at info@antinatalisminternational.com. I mean, I wouldn't say the sky's the limit, but you can get pretty high off the ground as far as what's allowed. Submissions in all languages are welcome, yes, and contact us if you need subtitles. That might be possible. Anti-Natalism International has done a really stellar job so far of assembling people that are interested in doing translations. So it's not a guarantee that we will have somebody that could possibly do subtitles for you, but it is a possibility. So again, don't let language barrier be a prohibiting factor. in submitting your film to the festival. Even if we can't get subtitles to it, I know a lot of films and videos don't need fucking words. So, you know, definitely just go ahead and submit it. Again, don't let that be a contributing factor to not submitting it. Films can be of any age or date of completion. Now that's very important because a lot of festivals put a big, you know, restriction on sort of like how old a piece can be. No such restriction exists for this festival. You are more than welcome to submit any kind of, it can be a day old, it can be 10 years old, it doesn't matter. So no worries about dates of completion. Submission entries are free. So yes, you know, not a cent needs to be spent on entering the festival. Only the entrants whose films were selected will be notified, as we are not able to inform individual applicants about rejection nor its reasons. So just keep that in mind. You know, again, feel free to submit if you have been selected. So sorry, got to wet the whistle. You'll be notified. It's just not possible to notify everybody. This next one is just sort of, is again, something I just added. It's something that was discussed kind of heavily in the last couple of info sessions, but it is an important, it's not really a rule, but it's just an important thing to kind of keep in mind. Films and videos submitted that include material in some sort of nebulous copyright position may not be eligible for acceptance into the festival, and even if accepted, will not be eligible for any prize. However, if this material is really something special, we may, sorry, we've got a word missing there, have alternative options to get that type of work more seen. Write to info@Antinatalism International with any questions. I'll leave it at that for now. Official selections. Official selections will be made by a jury of anti-natalists, which I'll have more news on soon. I mean, it will mainly consist of members of Anti-natalism International, but there will be other people invited to be jurors as well. So again, more news on the jury panel soon. Official selections will be announced September 30th, 2021. So yeah, so it's I mean, there's quite a ways away. So yeah, just keep that in mind. There will be several winners and prizes. See the above details. We've already gone through that. All official selections will be screened on the Anti-natalism and strategy, blah, 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 blah. You already know that. Basically all of October will be a full-on anti-natalist event, day and night. Submissions. Films must be submitted electronically via Filmfreeway only. Kind of sort of not true. I want to encourage people to make Filmfreeway accounts. I want to encourage anti-natalist video and filmmakers to take their creative output seriously. And even while this may be your first film festival that you submit a piece of work to, I hope that it won't be the last. So creating a Filmfreeway page really does set you up for, you know, being able to not, again, for the Anti-natalist Film Festival to not be the last festival that you submit to. You know, I very much encourage people to submit their anti-natalist films and videos to all kinds of festivals. I really hope that is a result of doing this festival. But yes, if you have any questions about, you know, and there are those that just for whatever reason are not able to submit to Filmfreeway, so contact me again and I'll fix this email address, which apparently I have completely screwed up, info@antinatalisminternational.com. The final submission deadline is July 31st, 2021. Incidentally, the first submission deadline is coming up. It's March 31st, so literally in 10 days from now. So this is a fantastic time to get your film in early, so keep that in mind. The person submitting the film gives their permission to screen the film during the festival and during other events promoting the festival arranged by the organizer with no screening fees. So, you know, once you submit it, you have to understand that we may use it for advertisements, we may want to screen it again in the future, and you can't charge us for screening your film. So keep that in mind if that's a prohibiting factor in you, submitting the film. I do apologize for that. It's pretty standard though for film festivals that, you know, the festival has the right to reuse the material, and we will contact you for that. You know, I do like to stay in touch with people, so we'll let you know if some of your stuff is used. We reserve the right to use a portion of any submitted material for the purpose of advertising for the festival. The festival reserves the right to invite a film that was not submitted to the festival. Yes. So there probably will be some legacy anti-natalism material from the past that is entered into the festival by force, by my selection, let's say. Film copies. The film copies, once selected, should be sent electronically via an online link. We cannot process solid state tapes or film reels. That basically means it has to be submitted through Filmfreeway, or if you're one of those people that's not going to make a Filmfreeway account or can't for whatever reason, you know, it's got to be backed up in some kind of format that's digital, either sent to me as an MP4 or you know, unlisted on YouTube or something. You may have the most brilliant anti-natalist movie in the world, but if it's 16 millimeter, you know, I highly support you getting it transferred to digital. I may even, you know, offer to help financially to get that done. But you know, I can't do anything with film reels or tapes. Hang on, let me let somebody in. Welcome to everybody, by the way, that's just come in. I'm really sorry that I haven't said hello to anybody specific, you know, individually, but I'll get a chance to say hi in more detail in a little bit here. The festival reserves the right to invite. I already read that. Sorry, and we already read that too. Contact us if you're seeking subtitles. We might be able to help. Okay, already said that. Submitting a film to the Anti-natalist Film Festival is equivalent to the acceptance of the conditions set out above in the rules. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's the full page. Once again, the first early bird deadline is March 31st. So again, great time to get your stuff into us. And now let's show you how to actually submit a film. So this is my old account for when I was submitting the F-list to film festivals. And this is a list on my other account of, you know, other films that I've made that I've submitted to festivals. So this, I think, is a Russian subtitled version of the F-list that I actually have yet to submit anywhere, but I plan to. This is a thing I never told anybody about, which is like it's basically just the Frankenstein portion of the F-list, and it did actually get into 2 festivals, which is hilarious. This is an old video that I made called Antinatal Funnies. And yeah, it's a bad one to show because I don't have anything set up. So let's look at the F-list. Now, I'm not actually going to submit the F-list to the Antinatalist festival, but I'm just showing this as an example of when you make an account, what you can expect. So as you can see, I have the full movie uploaded to the Filmfreeway account. So once, you know, and that's what you will be asked to do essentially. And that makes it super easy for, you know, the film to just be, that I can find it really easily once you submit it, because it will sort of be in your profile. You'll also have the option to like add a trailer. You can put photos, you can write taglines and give your credits and, you know, make posters and all of this stuff. None of this is necessary, like for the Anti-natalist Film Festival. I'm just showing you as, you know, just what you can do and what it allows you to do. So let's say I really want to submit the F-list. So you go to the Anti-natalist Film Festival page. You're going to hit submit now. You're going to hit the free option for the main category. And let's say, okay, I'm going to submit the F-list. You go to add cart and checkout. Now I'm not going to hit that because I think it may actually show details that I don't want you to see, but that's basically how you submit. It's pretty much the easiest damn thing in the whole world. And yeah, you just hit checkout and you're pretty much good to go. So it's extremely easy, once again, to submit your film to the Anti-natalist Film Festival. All right, I'm going to take a quick breath. I'm going to breathe it in. And then I'm going to look at the chat. Ooh. Hey, everybody. Okay, I'm going to take a quick peek at who's here. Hey, David. Or hey, Arapitha. Hey, AO. How are ya? Good to see ya. Hey, Lawton. So happy you're here. Rajendra. I'm just trying to see the people that I haven't said hi to yet. Anam, sorry. Welcome, everybody. It's really good to see you here. Okay, so
thank you for doing this.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Absolutely. Okay, so I've had a chance to have a little bit of a breather. So now we're going to go on to the second portion of the presentation today. So something that came up quite a bit in the last film festival info session was, what if you're an antinatalist artist, filmmaker, and you got a project, but shit, you are almost all done and you need a drawing and you're not somebody that can do a drawing, or you need a piece of music and you know nothing about music. What do you do? Well, the wonderful and amazing Antinatalist Outreach, who is here with us today, has done a lot of great work to bring antinatalist artists together this last year through the Fellowship of Antinatalist Artists. So we have joined forces and we have put together this form called the Antinatalist Artist Collaboration Form for the Antinatalist Film Festival and beyond. This was the idea of Inventors, and I just thought it was a brilliant idea and definitely one that should be acted upon. So again, AO and I have joined forces and put this together. And this is a way for antinatalist artists to find each other and either to offer assistance in the mediums that they are versed in and can help other people with, or a way to ask for help from your fellow antinatalists to complete a project. So I'm going to read through this and just kind of show you where we're at with this side of things. And before I do that, actually, I am going to post the links for all of today's stuff that we're doing in the chat. Make sure to go check all that out, everybody. And make sure to find the link below in the chat to this collab form. Nothing would make me happier if everybody here could fill it out. And I'm going to explain now how it all works. So as many of you may know, the Antinatalist Film Festival is the first major initiative of Anti-natalism International, and it is upon us now. Showcasing the cinematic talents of anti-procreative people everywhere and of all types, the Antinatalist Film Festival is the world's first film festival of its kind. All kinds of films and video works will be considered for the festival. If you want to see a full rundown of details and submit your film, check out the festival's Filmfreeway page here. We already look at that. In an attempt to do all we can to stimulate the creation of new antinatalist works, both for the festival and beyond, Anti-Natalism International is collaborating with the Fellowship of Antinatalist Artists to create this form, which hopes to collect enough information to put together a database of contacts and creative resources across the antinatalist community to make collaboration with your fellow antinatalist artists even easier. Please fill out the form below, letting us know either what you need help with creatively or what you'd be willing to donate to somebody else's project creatively, or both. We will compile all the info and make it available as a resource to antinatalists everywhere ASAP. Make sure to include an email address that you can be contacted, and make sure that the email you choose is one that you are comfortable with being made public. So that's very important. You got to put in an email address, but I can't make it go away if this is an email address that you later on decide you don't want anybody to have. So please pick one that you're comfortable with making public. So you put your email address in, and then there's two sections where first off you can describe what kind of antinatalist skills you're looking for help with. So let's say you need help with drawing, and you need help with animation, and you need help with music, and you need help with other. and then let's say, hey, you'd like to explain like what you need. I need it all. You can put a little description, saying exactly what it is you're looking for. And then let's say, what antinatalist skills could you donate to help somebody else with their project? So you're in need of all these kinds of helps, including help of the nebulous kind, and you need it all. But you're really, really, really good at sculpture. And you could definitely help somebody else do something with sculpture. So you're going to click that, and you're going to say, I can play with clay good. And then you're going to put in an email address. So my email address, antinatalnews@gmail.com. And then you're going to ask it to send a copy of your response if you want, and then you're going to submit it. And then it's going to do this, which is just a crime against humanity. No, I did. Also check the new images. Why? Why would you do this to me? No. Buses? I mean, is it good? Can I go
Video
now?
of filling out CAPTCHA would be a good submission to this festival.
I mean, it really does make it perfectly clear, doesn't it? It just makes it so clear why you wouldn't want to inflict this on anybody else. So I think it went through. So that's how you fill it out. Now, once more people have filled this out, I think we've had about 10 submissions so far. I hope, once again, that people will go and fill this out today. Once I have enough responses, then I'm going to compile this into another form. And again, I'm going to make it available in any and every way that I possibly can. And this will, I hope, be a great way for antinatalist artists to find each other and to help each other with their projects. Now, again, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to have a little drink. I'm going to thank everybody so much for coming. I really appreciate it, you guys. Breath, breath, breath. And now the really exciting part of our show today. I am so unbelievably pleased to announce that we have a special guest. She's not actually here, but we pre-recorded an interview. I pre-recorded an interview with the first person to submit their film to the Anti-natalist Film Festival, the one, the only, the amazing Existentialrosepetal, a fairly new addition to our anti-natalist community family, such as it is. An excellent artist. Please go and follow her on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube. She does amazing poetry. And again, she is the first person to submit her film, a film, to the Anti-natalist Film Festival. So I'm so grateful to Existentialrosepetal. And I thought it would be great to have her on as a guest and do an interview and find out more about her and find out more about her work. So now I'm going to give the floor to myself in the past and to Existentialrosepetal, and we're going to watch the interview. And I'll catch up with you guys in just a bit. Okay, everybody, we have a really special treat right now. We're going to do a short interview with Existentialrosepetal, an anti-natalist artist who's a fairly new anti-natalist YouTuber and Instagrammer, perhaps other platforms as well. I'm not sure. We're going to find out. She has created a number of really fantastic poetic pieces for YouTube, really great stuff on Instagram too, and is the first person to submit a film by the name of Spared to the Anti-natalist Film Festival. So I wanted to bring Existentialrosepetal on, Lee, for a bit of a chat. So welcome, Lee, to this third installment of the Anti-natalist Film Festival info session.
Hi, it is so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Amanda. I really do appreciate it.
It's my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you giving me some of your time today.
Of course.
And thank you for your film and for submitting to the Anti-natalist Film Festival. So let's just start out a bit simply. Who is Existentialrosepetal?
Who is she? Well, I'm just an individual who loves writing poetry and stories. And I always did, for several years, actually. It's one of my biggest passions, and other than that, I'm just kind of here. I just exist.
Sounds good. Well, you're an excellent poet, excellent photographer.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Why are you an anti-natalist, and how did you first find out about the subject?
So I've been an anti-natalist since I was 19, and it's something that I now strongly stand by. And honestly, it didn't take long for me to become one. It was fairly easy.
Yeah.
And my older brother, actually has a part to play in this as well. He was an anti-natalist before I was. So we happen to be like very close siblings as well. So when he told me he was an AN, I got interested pretty quickly. And then he started telling me about it. Directed me to the AN subreddit on Reddit and to you and also Mendem. So we were kind of, yeah.
That's kind of incredible.
Yeah.
That's a unique story. Yeah.
Thank you. So I remember, like, it took me about 3 days for me to just kind of take it all in and analyze the philosophy. I wanted to make sure that I knew everything there was to know about it. Same with ethylism. And then shortly after that, I became one. And I was so happy, still am, to be one.
That's amazing. That's, it's quite rare for, the budding antinatalist to have somebody already in their lives who's already an antinatalist.
Yeah.
And to help sort of nurture each other's, antinatalism between brother and sister. I think that's an amazing story. I love that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
me too. I love that too.
Oh, well, amazing. Lee, you are truly quite a talented artist, a poet, photographer, video maker. You do excellent voiceover. I love sort of the more performative videos that you do on Instagram. Great sense of fashion. How long have you been making art, and do you work in other mediums? I mean, I'm curious just to sort of about your history with art making.
So it's usually just been writing more recently. I used to do more like fictional writing, like following characters, made up characters. Now it's more just like spoken word. That's been my most recent interest. So for now, it's just focusing on landscape photography and just my poetry.
Amazing. Okay. You're a fairly new addition to the antinatalist community, such as it is.
Yeah.
So welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Your YouTube channel and Instagram are really something of a breath of fresh air. I really do love your work. Can you tell me a little bit about, what personally inspired you to artistically respond to the subject of antinatalism?
Well, honestly, antinatalism is actually a passion of mine, so to speak. And being a writer already, I do write other things as well, but I needed to write about this philosophy, and I have multiple times. It's really important to me to spread that message around in my own creative way. So I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. I mean, I can certainly say from my own experience too. Yeah, once I, found that subject, it just was so inspiring, and it's such a natural.
Right? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
The themes in some of the poetry, like Spared, or like the one about My Daughter, is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah, that one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like that you spend time, with this concept of like prevention, saving the child you didn't have, and sort of cherishing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very powerful theme that you're working with, and very valuable to other people.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I have a lot of compassion for children, so that's probably where that comes from.
No, it absolutely comes through. The piece that you submitted is a gorgeous poetic video by the name of Spared. Can you tell me more about this piece specifically?
Well, so Spared was about my compassion for children, like I said. And I wanted to show that, I really did. I think it's really important to show how caring and compassionate antinatalism truly is. Yes, it has a lot of logical aspects to it, but it's also very empathetic too. And that's how I see it, is like, may I have mercy and save you from the sorrows of this earth, is one of the lines. And I mean, I really do mean that. To me, it is sparing a child from subjecting them to suffering their whole life.
Yeah, it's the greatest act of compassion I think we're capable of.
Exactly, it truly is.
Absolutely. Have you ever submitted a video work of yours to a film festival before? Is the Antinatalist Film Festival your first film festival?
It is my first one, yes. I have never before. First time.
Amazing. Well, I'm honored. Well, I hope it's not your last, for sure. Lee, would you suggest that your fellow antinatalist video and filmmakers submit their work to the Antinatalist Film Festival?
Yes, of course I do. I highly encourage my fellow ANs to submit their work. Personally, I do not regret it at all. And if anyone's nervous or hesitant, don't be. Amanda is so open-minded and so kind. And look where I am right now. It could happen to you.
Yes, it could. And in fact, I would love to do do the same thing that we're doing right now with future filmmakers that submit their work. So if that's any kind of incentive,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful answer to that question. And
Thank
yes,
you.
I hope people take your suggestion.
I hope so too.
What can we expect from the future of your work? Do you think that anti-natalism will continue to be a major theme for you moving forward?
Yes, absolutely, I do. I'm going to keep doing films like that. I'm going to keep making poetry related to anti-natalism because it just never gets old. And I do have a lot of plans for the future as well with other projects, so absolutely.
Fantastic. Okay, well, where can people find you online and help support what you do?
So my YouTube channel is Existentialrosepetal. My Instagram has the exact same username, and my Twitter is sorrowfulpetal.
Okay, well, all of those links will be below, everybody. Please go follow and subscribe and check out all of the great work that Existential Rosepetal is doing. Please help go support her work. She does fantastic stuff. And I just want to thank you again, Lee, for doing this today. This has been really, really wonderful to get a chance to speak with you.
Thank you so much. I am so honored, like unbelievably.
The honor is all mine. Honor is all mine.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for watching that. Thank you so much to Lee, Existential Rosepetal, for granting me that interview. It was a short interview just because it was for this event, but I hope to get Lee eventually on exploring antinatalism. We shall see how the cookie crumbles. But yeah, that is something. If people are not obligated by any stretch of the imagination to do an interview if they submit a video to the film festival, but I am going to do an info session every month until the festival is closed basically for the year. I will be all future info sessions, unless otherwise notified, will be on the 21st of each month. And yeah, I would love to invite more people that submit films to do an interview exclusively for the event. So if that sweetens the deal, as I said before, for anybody in submitting a piece, then hey, just extra gravy. But yeah, so that's actually sort of does it for all the stuff that I have prepared for today. I want to just basically, I'm going to stop sharing, and I just want to basically open up the floor to maybe a little bit of discussion. If you guys have any questions, I'm here to answer them. If anybody has any films or video projects that they'd like to, that they're working on, they'd like to propose, they'd like to talk a little bit about, now's the time. So let me open it up into the floor. Before I do that, though, let me just once again thanks everybody for being here today. This really has been a wonderful turnout, and I'm very, very grateful. So yeah, anybody have anything to say?
Great presentation. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you so much, Mark. My pleasure. Thank you for being here. Thank you for co-hosting.
Amanda, the Inventors category you mentioned maximum is 2 minutes. What is the minimum? Can you clarify?
And I'm muted. Sorry about that. Yeah, thank you so much for that question, Anugrah. Yes, the minimum is 10 seconds. But nothing is stringent. So it's like if you produce an amazing 5-second piece, I'm not going to say no. I don't think Gary would say no. And if your video is a little bit over 2 minutes, that's fine too. Just somewhere sort of within that ballpark. And once again, yes, the new category in Mendham's Challenge has a $500 prize attached to it. So, try your luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Anugrah. Thank you for co-hosting as well.
Oh.
Anyone else? I don't bite yet. Well, I really do want to say again, this is we have never had 15 people at one of these info sessions, and it's a lot of new faces, faces that I've known for a long time but have not seen in these rooms. So Lawton and Tim, it's so good to see you here. David, Shahi, Ronak, some of you I don't know at all. AO, it's good to see you. Been wondering where you are. Spencer, Anam, Arpitha, Sneha. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing names wrong. Abhik, Masanisa. Terrible with names, so no offense, please, if I'm saying names wrong.
What is everybody's favorite movie?
Hey, Lawton. That's a really tough question. So I have a lot of favorite films. I think my all-time favorite movie is a little-known 1980s remake of The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari by a film director that goes by the name of Rinstream. It's just called Dr. Caligari, and it's very, very, very weird and amazing, and it has been a huge inspiration to me. My next favorite movie is Shock Treatment. What about you? What about everybody else?
I haven't seen either of those, but I'll have to add them to my list now.
I'll send you some links for sure.
Yeah, me too. I have not seen both.
Okay, I'll have to share them around. Yeah, they're very weird movies, but huge influence on me for sure.
Oh, nice.
How about you guys?
I have another question, Amanda.
Yes.
Can we submit our work, by using stock photography? I mean, which we download from, licensed websites.
Absolutely.
Or it has to be original photograph.
No, you can definitely, if the material is like copyright free, if it's like what you're describing, then absolutely. And those types of projects, films, videos will be eligible to not only be accepted, but they will be eligible for prizes. Where it gets a little hairy is like, if you were to make a video out of Disney footage and anime and all like stuff like that, then the copyright is a little bit more nebulous and probably, over the line. I still encourage people to submit stuff like that. It can't be accepted for the most part. We'll have to take it a case-by-case basis. It can't be eligible for prizes. But again, if it's really good, then I will try to find some way of getting it seen if it's not in the festival. There are other ways. So yeah, thank you for that question, Anugrah, for sure.
Oh, thanks for the answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like the question about your favorite movie, because you have to be honest, right? When that question comes up, it's got to be the first movie that comes to your mind. You can't lie, right? Like, what's that movie? If you had to watch one movie forever, what would it be, right? So mine came up as Fight Club, which I know comes as like a cliche, like everybody knows that movie, everybody's tired of that movie, whatever. But it was really the first movie that made me realize, like, oh, we can hold our parents accountable. Oh, we can hold the system accountable for their own actions, right? So as much as it was kind of everybody likes Fight Club, everybody knows about Fight Club. That was a big one for me, just on the topic of anti-natalism, because it never even occurred to me that, like, hey, can you actually like blame your parents for your problems? I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's a great movie, and it's definitely had a wide-reaching influence, and the fandom around that film surprises me. Like, I never expected it to kind of take off the way that it did. Now it's become this like very iconic thing for people. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting movie. But yeah, you can't, right? It's true. You can't lie about what your favorite movie. It has to be like the one really close to your heart, on the tip of your tongue. Yeah. But again, I have a lot of favorites. My answer.
I'm just glad it was. I'm glad it was Fight Club and not Wedding Singer then, because that was the next one. So I'm glad Fight Club sounds better than Wedding Singer.
That one definitely sounds better, yeah. But Wedding Singer is a good one too. Mark, were you going to say something?
My favorite is Requiem for a Dream by Darren Aronofsky.
Great movie. I love that movie. I've watched it many, many times. Very sad.
Yeah.
Gets a little funnier each time. No, I'm joking. But I mean, it's a great movie for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, where you been?
Yeah, I've been wallowing in my despair at
I'm
humanity.
sorry.
I have my favorite film is Interview with the Vampire. I think that's my favorite film. Yeah, that pops into my head.
Oh, hell yeah. I love Interview with the Vampire. That's a very underrated movie. It really is. And they never, like, I liked Queen of the Damned, and I think they made a Lestat, they never really did it. They never came anywhere close to how good that first movie is, though, with any other attempt to do it. Very, very underrated movie. I mean, it's always just has this reputation of being a piece of trash, but they did a good job. It's a great book too, honestly. Like, for a piece of modern vampire fiction. I know it's very controversial. I hate Dracula, so don't tell anybody.
Amanda, have you seen The Elephant Man by David Lynch?
Absolutely. Yep.
Seemed like one you might like too. That's one of my favorites.
I've actually made out while watching The Elephant Man. Yeah. No, I love The Elephant Man. I love all David Lynch films. Honestly, a lot of David Lynch has a pretty strong anti-natal theme. I mean, you can't really watch Eraserhead without, with an anti-natalist eye. I mean, it's kind of all there. I mean, obviously, I don't think he had that in mind when he was making it, but definitely. And John Hurt's performance as the Elephant Man, I mean, just brilliant. Just a brilliant movie.
I can never forget Melancholia, the movie.
Melancholia, yeah.
Melancholia, yeah. In the end, when the asteroid comes and hits the Earth, the Extinction.
Oh yeah.
That's so powerful.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Really, really long time.
But some of these movies, like, they are so powerful emotionally. And you just don't know how people can come out of them and not be an anti-natalist afterwards, because they're so raw and real.
Yeah, I'm always kind of shocked. I don't know whether this is just something wrong with me, probably, but like, I'm always really very strongly affected by the things I watch. I'm very strongly affected by like the messaging in movies, and yeah, it's just it surprises me how much people take in and aren't really affected by it. Like, it is hard to watch a movie like Melancholia or and not really be sort of changed for it a little bit. By it.
And not only that, but the actual actors themselves who portray the individuals, the tormented beings, and do the method acting and stuff. And then they come out of it seemingly unaffected by it. It's just bizarre to me.
It's weird. It's a weird thing. It's a very strange thing. But I guess, that is sort of the danger of art, is that it sort of puts reality at arm's length. It gives you a taste while making it safe. So that is a bit of a difficult thing with art, because it can show you the truth, but it can also give you reason to ignore it and make it just another piece of candy, So that is, I think, the danger of artistic methods of revealing deeper truths about the world, is it can make it kind of fun, and it can make it safer than it really is, which is unfortunate.
And the funny thing is, they put the movie such as Melancholia under science fiction category. Now, when we are facing the 6th mass extinction, we've already witnessed, Earth has witnessed 5 mass extinctions, and this becomes science fiction.
Yeah. It is kind of funny. Like, I've been wanting to do this recently, although I don't know when I'm going to find time to do it. I mean, I do think that like Transformers had a movie not too terribly long ago that was, called Age of Extinction. And I mean, Extinction is a big part of the cultural consciousness, but it's one of those things where it's like, you can, it's been commodified, but it's not necessarily being thought through very seriously, the implications. So it's like, it's kind of good though, because it's like, at least the beginning of the conversation is there. So the door is a little bit open for the antinatalist artist to have a more detailed conversation through art about extinction. But yeah, that is weird that it would be put under science fiction. Science fiction has had that thing with it where it's always, thought to be the predictive, thing about our future. But I think it's uncomfortable for people to, wrestle with the idea that the predictions might not be that far away. So it's it might actually sort of be imminent, or something in some cases. So I guess it makes sense, but I don't know.
Is this section supposed to be recorded, or?
I'm recording it. You don't have to, Mark. Don't worry about it. I mean, if
Okay.
you, I know it might be a giant file. Thank you so much for doing that, by the way.
No problem.
But yeah, is anybody working on anything? Once again, if you guys have video or film projects that you're, needing some help with, please make sure to fill out that form. I will have it. I regret that I don't have the actual compiled resource done, for this presentation today. I was hoping I could get, all the stuff that's been submitted already into a form and I'd be able to present it today. But in some respects, it's good because hopefully a bunch of you have filled out the form today, and there'll be even more to compile. And certainly, I think in the next few days, but certainly by the next meeting, which will be April 21st, we'll have a pretty detailed way of getting in touch with each other and helping each other complete projects. So I don't even know how I got on that tangent, but does anybody have any projects that they want to talk about that they might be either interested in making or currently working on? No. Well, that's all right.
I was actually going to say, since I have a moment to actually talk about it, I'm actually working on a project right now.
Okay.
You might have heard of it. It's called the Birth Strike Movement.
Yeah.
There was a movement. It was actually pretty big a couple of years ago. A couple of individuals from England kind of made it semi-popular, and it was blowing up for a while. It kind of died down, and they closed down operations since the BLM project or situation happened. And their rationale was they believe that they have to focus on. They think that racism needs to be taken as a priority. Now, I do believe, obviously, that is a serious issue and it is something that needs to be focused on. But the issue is, I don't think they should have closed down the birth strike movement because I believe it's a children's rights movement. I believe it's to protect children from. It's same exact logic as anti-natalism. It's kind of like anti-natalism light, kind of like a middle ground between natalists and anti-natalists where we can come to agree. So basically, my angle on this is I'm trying to get it going again. I've got the website up. I'll link the website in a second when I can. I'm getting the social media set up. Basically, I have a few other people that are interested and we're working on it together. We don't need a ton of help. It's more just about support, just kind of networking and stuff like that. What we're going to be doing is publishing academic literature to socialists, to women's lib, to youth liberation, and start talking a lot about the rights of children, because this is what we really think is the elephant in the room that birth strike movement kind of moved away from. They were more focused on being grieving parents, where I don't believe that should have been the core of the movement. I think the core of the movement should have been to protect kids. It's not, you shouldn't be sad that you couldn't have kids. In terms of being a parent, you actually did a really good job because you protected your kids from a horrible, horrible situation. So rather than being sad about not being able to have kids, I think anti-natalists should be proud of what they're doing. And birth strikers, if they don't want to commit to being anti-natalists, should be proud of what they're doing because you're protecting kids. So anyway, I'll leave the link down there. It's still in the opening. It's still in the opening stages. I haven't connected everything yet, but I was planning on getting everything going and publishing media in the next week or so. Just coincidentally, this is starting up right now. So I'll link that now. Thanks, guys, for the time.
Yeah, Spencer, thank you. Obviously, you and I have spoken about this a little bit already. I'm very excited about what you're doing with Birth Strike. I'm glad Birth Strike is getting a second chance and some new energy and passion put into it. Yeah, we definitely are going to cover what you're doing with Birth Strike if you're ready for us to in the new episode of Antinatal News, the March episode of Antinatal News. And yeah, I'm again, I hope that Antinatalism International can be of assistance. We did put a new Birth Strike room in the Antinatalism International Discord, and more news on the way. So yeah, fantastic stuff. Spencer, are you a video maker as well? Perhaps
I'm working on it. I'll show you the website. I just launched the YouTube channel. I'm getting that all up now in the chat. I'm okay at videos. I'm not great at them. I'm like older millennial. So like I can technology. I'm just not fantastic at technology. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. That's okay.
One thing I did want to point out on this, guys, and I'll shut up after this. Thanks. I really appreciate the time.
Okay.
I really like this meme. I found out that somebody in this conversation actually came up with the meme that I'm using for my this is the one about anti-natalism activism, right?
I like that one.
And this is the heart of Birth Strike, though, is because this is what I want to talk about. Whatever demographic you're talking about, whether it's racial, whether it's women, whether it's LGBT, whatever it is, it seems everybody always seems to completely forget about the kids involved in their own movement. And I think the pinnacle of this is you'll go to climate change rallies and you'll see like pregnant women holding up signs saying, "Oh, what about my child?" And it's like, are we serious? Are you guys serious right now? Like, you know that there's a problem and you guys are bringing more lives into this. Like, we should be helping the people in our own communities before we're even considering new life. And it has nothing to do with race or class or it shouldn't anyway, right? Like that's what I think is the issue. That's why I love that meme. That's the heart of the movement right there. We're the ones talking about the elephant in the room, you know? That's it. That was it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Spencer. Definitely. I like that meme. I've seen different versions of this one related to anti-natalism. So yeah, it's good stuff. Well, I mean, they're all really important, but obviously anti-natalism is, I would definitely put above and beyond all else. And it is unfortunately the one that doesn't really get that passion and energy put towards it enough. But you know, things are changing. Definitely people are paying attention more. So it's all good. But yeah, I definitely, you know, those of you like Spencer that are working on YouTube channels, getting ready to start making videos at all, highly suggest or hope that you might submit to the Antinatalist Film Festival. You know, don't put too much concern about, you know, how talented a video maker or filmmaker you might be. Some of the, you know, there's great content out there that's made by very unskilled, unseasoned hands, and that's just sort of the way art is, isn't it? So yeah, don't let any of that stop you, and definitely go check out Spencer's link. But yeah, it is exciting to see another anti-procreative movement. Obviously, I know it has a longer history, but I mean, it's just nice to see another anti-procreative movement get some steam behind it. You know, we at ANI, we like to think about anti-procreation as this 4 schools of thought thing, but there's definitely like another category, you know, with different perspectives that don't really necessarily fit into, that are somewhere under the umbrella term of anti-natalism, but don't necessarily fit into it exactly, or a little bit different for whatever reasons, aren't vehement, aren't Nephilism, aren't child-free. And I think Birth Strike definitely fits that bill. I just had never, you know, it's my fault, but I had never really given much energy to researching it, just because it was interesting to me, but it seemed like it had kind of, you know, died down a little bit. So again, might be a good way to get.
As a revolutionary.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and as a revolutionary tactic, they have no, like, capitalists don't have a right to use us for labor, right? So anti-natalists should stand up for their rights on this, right? Like, there's absolutely, we have an argument that all leftists should be supporting us with. We have rights too, right? Like, they can't just tell us, like, hey, you get to do labor. Like, that's not fair, right? So yeah, sorry. That was it.
No. It's just a side note. You may actually really like. Although I'll just go ahead and say it. Francois Tremblay actually has a sort of a side movement called Childism, which is related to the antinatalist movement, but isn't exact. It's a lot of what you're saying. You might have an interest in that, and in the book. But yeah, absolutely. Not to take away from what we're speaking about, Spencer, but I just want to make sure. Does anybody else have any other projects that they'd like to talk about, or films or videos that they think they might want to submit, or have any questions about the festival? That's okay. That's okay. Well, we've been going a little over an hour.
Amanda, I just had a quick question.
Yeah, please. Mm-hmm.
Will you be producing a sequel to The Athalist? I know you were working on Reverie. I've seen some wonderful clips. I didn't know if that was still in progress.
Thank you so much for that question, Lawton. So that's a tough question. So there's several different answers to that. Reverie is one of those movies that I just, Werner Herzog talks about it sometime. It's like there are films that don't want to be born. And I think Reverie is a little bit like that. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with Reverie, unfortunately. It is something I keep coming back to, though. So we'll see. A lot of the content of Reverie is difficult for me because I kind of live Reverie. And so it's a little hard to kind of step away from myself and make the film because I remain that person the whole time, if that makes any sense. Now, as for a sequel to The Athalist, there's a couple of different answers, as I said. I have long wanted to make an extended version of the history portion of The Athalist. So for those of you that remember, The Athalist included a part of the movie where I was Arthur Schopenhauer and I was Turan and I was Zapf. And I've wanted to do like a lot more people as kind of a side project. I've really wanted to do like Clarence Darrow because frankly, I could pull off a Clarence Darrow. So I don't know if I'll ever do that. It feels a little far away now to do something like that, but I have wanted to do that, and I think about it sometimes. One thing that will happen to The Athalist eventually is I will be reshooting the entire addiction sequence. So the addiction sequence of The Athalist as it begins now was written the day before I released the film online because I was under such pressure to finish the film. And I had spent so much time and energy in the rest of the movie with no sleep, no money, no nothing, that it's just that part of the film just sort of is not what it should be. So there will be new material shot for The Athalist for the addiction sequence. It will be sort of a similar to the style of the Frankenstein sequence. That's already in the film, but it will be an Athalist, Anti-natalist interpretation of a Shakespeare play, either King Lear or Romeo and Juliet. I know that might not make sense hearing that right now, but if I can pull it off, it's going to be fucking hilarious. And I just don't know when it's going to happen. I mean, my initial hope was that I would have it done and I'd actually be able to show it as, not a film eligible for prizes or winning or anything, but I'd be able to show it in this year's Anti-natalist Film Festival. I just don't think that's going to happen. So that's a sort of sequel. I mean, when I made The Athalist, I always intended it to be a project that was added on to, over time, especially because, the original was made with shoestrings, basically. The thing that I really want to do, though, is a project that I have not yet really been able to invest in, and that's a project that I have put little bits and pieces out of, over the years, called Anti-natal Mary, which is an anti-natalist reimagining of the birth and life of Jesus Christ. But listen, it has
that would be really cool.
Yeah. Incidentally, our wonderful Théophile de Guéraud, has written a book about sort of some of what I'm getting at. And it's a musical, and it's very weird, and I really, really do want to make it very badly, but it's going to require more than what I had to make The Athalist with, if you know what I mean. So maybe one day. Lots and lots of ideas, just not a whole lot of time to do them, or there hasn't been in the last couple of years. So hopefully in the future. Thank you, Lawton.
Certainly, I look forward to seeing it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Would anybody else like to ask anything? All right. Well, listen, everybody. We've been going for a little over an hour. I just really, really, really want to thank everybody so much for coming today. This really has exceeded my expectations for turnout. thank you for your questions. Thank you for the commentary and for the conversation, and just for staying and listening to me ramble on and on and on and on. This session has been recorded today, so I will make it available on the Anti-Natalism International YouTube channel with some edits soon. Not exactly sure when. Keep in mind that again, we will continue to do these info sessions the 21st of every month up until submissions are closed. And again, it'll be on the 21st of each month unless otherwise notified. Remember that the first deadline is in 10 days from now, March 31st. So a great time to get your projects in. Please, please, please go support Existentialrosepetal. She is on Twitter. She is on Instagram. She is on YouTube. She is quite brilliant. Very, very, very talented. Such a wonderful, sweet person. Extremely friendly. I had a wonderful, wonderful time speaking with Existentialrosepetal. I want to thank her so much for giving me some of her time to do an interview. Really, really enjoyed getting to know her better, and I hope that very, very, very underappreciated new member of our community. So once again, please go follow her, subscribe to her, and send her some love. And yeah, I guess that's it. The last thing, share the link to the Anti-Natalist Film Festival. Again, it cannot be searched as other festivals with physical locations, venues. It can't be searched in that kind of way on the film festival website. So it's really up to us who care about the Anti-natalist internet. It's really up to us that care about the film festival to share that link, because it's the only way that it's going to get seen. And I think that's it, everybody. So I'll just put it out there one more time. Does anybody have any other questions or things they want to talk about? And if not, I'm going to close it up for the day. Okay, I think that's it. Well, thank you, Spencer. Thank you, Ronak. Thank you, Bessanisa. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, AO. Thank you, Shahi. Thank you, Anugra. Thank you, Sinea. Thank you, David. Thank you, Arpitha. Thank you, Anam. And thank you, Lawton. Thank you all so much for being here today and listening to me and considering the Anti-Natalist Film Festival as something that you might be interested in submitting to. I will see you all again April 21st. Thank you again, everyone.
Yes, thank you
so
thank
much.
You.
Thank you.
Thanks. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Take care.
Take care. Bye. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.